Every time the girl brought a boyfriend home, her mother would seize the opportunity to secretly turn the men into snakes and lock them in the snake garden. However, Annie was completely unaware of this. It wasn't until the disappearance of her 8th boyfriend that she recalled her childhood, when her mother's snake garden only admitted females. She had only peeked in once and was brutally slapped by her mother, who warned her that she could only enter the snake garden with a boyfriend after reaching adulthood. To understand the connection between her boyfriend's disappearances and the snake garden, Annie secretly added sleeping pills to the dough she was making. After preparing the food, she served it to her mother. As expected, her mother only took a bite and fell asleep. Annie then stealthily stole the key to the snake garden and stepped into the garden she hadn't entered in 20 years. However, all she saw was a normal hot spring. As she turned to leave, a group of black snakes emerged from the bottom of the pool. Annie was shocked to find her missing boyfriend's clothes buried in the soil. Recalling how her mother always gave the men strange looks when they returned, Annie was on the verge of fainting. As she turned back, she saw black snakes running out of the hot spring, getting closer and closer. Her 9th boyfriend suddenly appeared and saved Annie, then recounted everything that had happened. He also took Annie to the door of a room, saying that it must contain her mother's secrets. However, just as they were about to open the door, her mother arrived. It turned out that her mother had long known about Annie secretly poisoning her but had only pretended to fall asleep. Her mother was deeply pained, unable to believe that her daughter of so many years would dare to poison her. Annie urged her mother to surrender quickly because she had already seen the clothes of those boys in the snake garden, proving that they were locked in that room. Seeing that her mother refused to hand over the room key, Annie pulled out a small knife, intending to stab her mother as a final act of defiance. Helpless, her mother had no choice but to hand over the key. Just as Annie was about to put down the knife, her mother took out a flute and began to play. Instantly, snakes surrounded them, but Annie was not afraid at all. She immediately opened the room door,